the fact that it's wicked.com, but this does not direct the users to the official website, instead a pornographic website. During the report that Jody just provided for us, she did also include the statement from Mattel saying,
"Yep, it's real, y'all. But enough of that, and let's get into the message of the Stanford Project or the Standford-Prison experiment. Anyone know anything about that? If not, we will get into it right about now. Braca, welcome to HSE-TV Entertainment. Braca, Angel Braca, Malik Braca. In advance, those that I didn't say the name yet.
I'm sorry. No. My immigrant mother just called me on the phone, innocently asking me if she should start carrying her passport in case they start doing mass deportations to prove that she's a citizen. It's so sad.
So right now, there are a bunch of people losing their minds due to the recent election results. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. Some people had no idea that they were surrounded by people who couldn't wait to vote for Trump, and fast. They couldn't wait. The voters were not messing around this time. They were like, nope. All this crap we've been going through ends tonight. And now people have been crying on the internet, having mental breakdowns and the like. And I guess this would be the fallout period for those who have gotten themselves emotionally invested in this. And as I am watching this happen, as I am watching people have a fit over this election, I'm reminded of something, which is the topic of the day. The Stanford-Prison experiment. After a few years of the media telling you what's what, it has become very easy for many people to lose touch with reality and lose their marbles because they were led into believing a lie.
It's all right. It's all right. I feel that way too. It's all right. We feel that way together, okay? Let it out. Let it out.
Glitch.
So the Stanford-Prison experiment was a psychological study conducted in 1971 by Dr. Philip Zimbardo, a professor at Stanford University, to examine the effects of perceived power and authority on human behavior. The study aimed to understand how people would act if they were placed in roles with significant power differences, specifically as guards or prisoners. Now, the experiment recruited 24 male college students who were deemed psychologically healthy and stable. They were randomly assigned to the roles of either guards or prisoners in a mock prison set up in the basement of the Stanford Psychology Department. Participants who were assigned as prisoners wore uniforms and were given identification numbers, while those assigned as guards wore uniforms, reflective sunglasses to prevent eye contact, and carried batons, giving them an authoritative appearance. The initial plan was for the experiment to last 2 weeks. So the participants quickly adapted to their assigned roles, with guards becoming authoritarian and in many cases aggressive, while prisoners became submissive and distressed. Within days, the guards began to enforce the rules. They began to psychologically torment the prisoners, and cruel behavior increased. Some of the guards handed out severe punishments, including solitary confinement and degrading tasks, without any ideas coming from the experimenters. The prisoners soon began to show signs of emotional breakdowns, stress, severe anxiety. Some had to be released early because they couldn't cope with the harsh treatment. Now, Dr. Zimbardo, who also acted as the prison superintendent, became so immersed in the experiment he ignored the extent of harm being inflicted. It wasn't until an outside observer, Dr. Christina Maslock, expressed concern about the ethics of the experiment, and so Zimbardo decided to terminate the experiment early. The study was stopped after just 6 days. This experiment demonstrated that under certain circumstances, ordinary people could engage in abusive behaviors if they perceived it as part of their role or duty. I'll say that again. Ordinary people could engage in abusive behaviors if they perceived it as part of their role or duty. So when you go out and see people in the world and you wonder why people who exhibit certain behaviors have a certain look attached to that behavior, like a stereotype. This is why. When you see people freaking out about the election results, by the way, many of these people have not only lost their minds, they've lost some friends. Some of them have lost their partners. Some people have lost social media followers. Some people are losing subscribers and paid subscribers. Some of them, from what I've been hearing, gave up living after the election. They just ended it. And I'm praying not too many people took that option. Perception is powerful, and you can use perception to your advantage. When I walk out the house dressed in a suit, everyone's perception of me is different from their perception of me if I didn't. I get free stuff. The way I get treated by people in general is totally different. It almost makes me mad to know that just wearing certain clothing will affect someone's behavior towards you. It's really quite amazing, actually. And we can't help it. I bet you that if I took a large group of people and put them all in Superman costumes, I bet some of those people are going to end up getting injured because they lost themselves in the role. Yes, that's how much faith I have in people these days.
POV. I thought this was the only thing harming my liver.
A lot of people.
Wow. We showed exactly the day when 2,000 people did decide to take their life.
These days. Now, let me give you a day-by-day breakdown of the events that took place during the experiment. On day one, the participants were unexpectedly arrested at their homes by actual local police officers who took them to a real police station for fingerprinting and booking. They were then blindfolded and transported to the Stanford County Jail, a simulated prison in the basement of the psychology department. Upon arrival, the prisoners were stripped, deloused, and assigned numbers. Each prisoner was issued a uniform and had a chain placed around one ankle as a symbol of their captivity. Guards were instructed to establish a sense of order by enforcing specific rules for the prisoners. At this stage, the guards were not yet aggressive, and the prisoners were mainly adjusting to their new roles. Day 2. Early on day 2, the prisoners resisted by barricading themselves in their cells and refusing to follow the guards' instructions, such as refusing to come out for roll call. They also took off their assigned identification numbers. So in response, the guards saw this as a challenge to their authority. And so they used fire extinguishers to push prisoners away from the cell doors and then physically restrain some prisoners. Then the guards began isolating and disciplining the leaders of the rebellion. Now the guards started enforcing privileges for compliant prisoners and used dehumanizing techniques to control behavior. One cell was designated to be the privileged cell, where prisoners who obeyed received better food and rest, and non-compliant prisoners received punishments such as loss of mattress privileges and were sometimes forced to sleep on the floor. On day 3, the guards intensified their tactics, including more frequent roll calls, even in the middle of the night, to keep prisoners awake and disoriented. Psychological abuse increased, with guards making prisoners perform humiliating tasks like cleaning toilets with their bare hands. Zimbardo and his team heard a rumor that the prisoners were planning an escape. This led to the increased security and added stress on the prisoners, which included moving some to an actual police holding cell temporarily. Some of the guards sought ways to divide and control prisoners, so they convinced certain prisoners to act as informants, creating, of course, distrust and further isolating individuals. Now, on day 4, multiple prisoners began to experience severe emotional distress. To simulate real prison conditions, Zimbardo allowed a visiting day where prisoners' family members could briefly see them, right? However, the guards cleaned up the entire environment and instructed prisoners to smile and behave well in front of their families. The guards also observed the family visits. And after the family members left, the guards retaliated by intensifying the mistreatment of the prisoners, using sleep deprivation and forced physical exercises as punishment. Now, on day 5, the guards started implementing more degrading activities, such as forcing prisoners to simulate sexual acts. And that's all it took, 5 days, and they have already resorted to sexual depravity, adding a humiliating layer to the abuse. These actions were aimed at breaking the prisoner's spirits and solidifying the guards' dominance. And the power dynamic continued to affect both groups deeply. As a result of this, several prisoners showed extreme anxiety, depression, and a sense of hopelessness, while some guards became increasingly sadistic, enjoying the sense of power and control they wielded over the prisoners. It was allowed to continue up until the next day, when Dr. Christina Maslock, Zimbardo's girlfriend, visited the experiment and was disturbed by the guards' behavior and the suffering of the prisoners. So she questioned the morality and ethics of the experiment, and Zimbardo stopped it. You can really see the hate come out of people when we have things like this happen. It happened during the pandemic and now again with this past election. And I can see that people can truly be hypnotized by what's in the media, all media. Folks, a major shift is happening right now as a result of that election. Crying over Trump. If they only knew. Do you guys remember me mentioning before that whoever is elected president will definitely have an impact on what happens to other countries around the world? Well, take a look at this.
Smithy is changing the way you think about cast iron.
Yeah. The daughters and sons will prophesy. Sure is happening, Captain. No one's listening.
So I have this video I want to show you guys. And, well, just take a look at this.
Trump's not even president yet. Have you seen what's happened in the last 48 hours? The misogynist appoints the first ever woman to be chief of staff. The Taliban announced they want peace with America and to be taken off the terrorist list. Putin came out and said that Western civilization is not an enemy. Mexico has started securing the border in, of course, response to tariff threats. Saudi Arabia is kicking out all of their Hamas leaders. New York is cleaning up their illegal migrant crisis. Xi Jinping came out and said he wants to peacefully coexist with China and said that they respect American people. The European Union chief finally came out and said, hey, America, can we start buying LNG from you so they stop buying from Russian gas? Putin says he takes Donald Trump's plan to end the war with Ukraine very seriously, and Russia supports it.
This is 48 hours after he was elected president. 48 hours. He hasn't even taken house yet.
That's it. The Houthis are stepping back. The Hamas called for an immediate end to war. He's calling for term limits in from Congress so that way people like Nancy Pelosi stop being forever members. Stock markets and crypto hit all-time highs. He sent Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton into depression. Because of all this amazing news, white, liberal, ugly women are now refusing to have sex with men. America is, in fact, being made great again.
There you go. I mean, what else is there to say?
Everybody know what's coming. You can't run from it. You can't hide it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. It was already prophesied by the greatest mouth of divinity. Oh, we ready for it? We like telling it. We like prophesying about it. Are we living it? Be more doers than hearers. Can't have one without the other, right? War ready in the building. Braca. So, I hope you caught last message, bro. On just before this. Gave you a little shout out there. I know you were going to remember. I got to go check the comments. So, thank you for coming out to HSE-TV Entertainment. Just so you know, you got your boy. All right, I know we on another social media. We like, man, we ain't seen the old guy over there in the book. But we on the tube now. We warned everybody. We told them, man, we seeing who hard-headed from who not. Right? Everybody thinks things last forever. But they don't. Only in the eternal Kairos. Feel me? Braca. Have a great evening. Peace.